So the concept of a cheap or inexpensive AR-15 is all over YouTube. And if you're like me and you have a bunch of AR-15 accessories, you could probably build one of these if you have like an extra lower around a number of uppers. So that's what I did with this. This is a $900, $800 AR. It could be cheaper, it could be more expensive, it's just up to you. I have some things on here for the vibes, which we'll get to. This AR is not bad. You could keep it in a vehicle if that's your thing, if it's legal. I don't want to say it's a bad idea, it's not. It's kind of like a gray area in my opinion. Most criminals get guns from vehicles, so if you just leave this thing in your car, it could be stolen, it's out of your sight. But if you live in a rural area or something, by all means, or if you don't, you could keep an AR-15 in your car, whatever. If I had a truck gun, this would be it. The way things are in the world right now, especially in the United States, there's a lot of people that hate us, and crime is rampant in the US, especially if you're in a big city. So if it's legal to carry a rifle in your vehicle, you could do it, you just have to be responsible. This thing never stays in my vehicle overnight if I do take it. But it's not a bad idea to have an AR-15 is what I'm getting at. Or any kind of rifle, long arm, PCC, something like that. And if somebody were to break into my truck somehow and get through multiple, I keep this in the bed of my truck, I have it decked. You've probably seen it in other videos. The truck is locked, the tailgate is locked, and the deck is locked. So if you get to this multiple ways, plus I have a tonneau cover, like the chances of somebody breaking into the bed of my truck is very low. These are all excuses, but anyway, let's get to the rifle. The upper is a Ruger 5.56 upper and a PSA lower. So the Ruger was the first rifle that I've had, or that I bought. I didn't know PSA was a thing, or else I probably would have gotten one of those. But Ruger 16-inch upper with their own like muzzle device. This isn't an A2 muzzle device. I'm probably gonna switch that out. I have an A2 muzzle device, so I'm probably gonna switch that out now that I'm thinking about it. Thick with two C's barrel. It's a 1 in 8 twist, which is kind of interesting, but very accurate. I haven't shot any like 77 grain out of this or anything, but of like the budget ARs that I have, this is by far the most accurate. I have a couple PSA, just like the Freedom Line ones. This is way more accurate than those. It's kind of weird how accurate this gun is. And part of that is that thick cold hammer forged barrel. Moving back, I just have a mag pull sling. I don't really like the mag pull sling. That's kind of why it's on this gun, but it gets the job done. I just have it looped through the front sight post. On the front side post, or the gas block, I suppose, there's a QD point, which is interesting. I don't know why you would want a QD point right there, but whatever. Moving back into like the part that stands out the most, I have the Surefire fore end with the flashlight and everything. And this thing is pretty cool if it was 2004 and I'm in the movie SWAT. But all jokes aside, it gets the job done. I think the things that you need for an AR is a flashlight, a sling, and an optic. So this covers the flashlight part. It's a whopping like 100 lumens, but it's fine. It's a little heavy too, especially with this thick barrel. But like I said, it gets the job done. And it has this light on the side. It's like LED light for like low light stuff, or I thought it was a black light when I first got it. This is like made for police. I thought it was a black light. It's not. I looked at my bed. It's not a black light. And then it has like this always on button. It has like a safety right here that you rotate and then you can't activate it. A lot going on with this thing, and it has a lot of features that are that some flashlights nowadays could have used. Like, I don't know why we got away from these things, but it's cool. Even as a lefty, I just hit it with my thumb, so it's fine. Where the pressure pad is what I'm talking about. And then these buttons right here, if you want it always on, you could just reach over and press it. Romeo 7S, the 6-hour Romeo 7S. It's fine, has covers on it, gets the job done. I don't have anything good to say, anything bad to say. It's a green dot, which is cool. I like the green dots. I have it on a ADM QD mount, so it doesn't co-witness with the sights, but it's fine. It's QD. The thing with budget red dots like this, and like Primary Arms and Hollow Sun and everything, those companies kind of skip out on the mount. So in my opinion, until you get to that higher tier red dot, I would take the red dot off the mount and put a different mount on there, whether it's like ScalarWorks, I have one of those, good to go. Unity, ADM is fine. Any of those companies that make a pretty robust mount, I would go with that and get rid of those cheap mount, like stock mounts. That's just my opinion. This has this follows the T2 footprint, so that's really cool. Good job, 6-hour. Flip up rear sight, just a Maytech, Maltech, whatever, rear sight. I was cloning an M4, and I had this on there for a long time, and then I got a Knights Armament one, so there's that one on the M4, and then the Maltech one on this thing. It has the front side post, so it's like, why wouldn't you? Inside, just the Ruger 5.56 bulk carrier group. There are some issues with it from School of the American Rifle, but I think it's fine. I've had the only malfunction I've ever had with this thing is I had to mortar it, and that was when I first got it. So I'm not sure if that was like a breaking in thing or what, but I want to say that was like within the first 10 rounds I had to do that. Just a nasty malfunction that I had to mortar, which is funny. But other than that, I don't think I've ever had any malfunctions with this over like 7 years or something. PSA lower, like I said, just a standard M4 PSA lower. Well, not M4, but you know what I mean. PA-15 or whatever. Ambi selector, A2 grip, don't need anything fancy. I actually like the A2. I don't like the A2 grip. I can stand the A2 grip. I don't think it's that bad in my opinion. Standard buffer tube. I actually have an H1 in here, I believe. So it shoots pretty flat. The ejection is good is what I'm getting at. And then I have a B5 Sopot stock. So that's the standard, or the simple build. So like I said, this thing's probably like $800, $900, and it gets the job done. It has some vibes with the old school Surefire flashlight, or 4-end rather. I had a carry handle on this. This is like a couple years ago. I had a carry handle on this at one point, but I watched that School of the American Rifle video, and he mentioned how the front sight base is off, and sure enough, it is on this. At least I think it is. I don't have the tool that he has, but I think it is. So I took the carry handle off and just went to the red dot. I have the backup sights just as a backup. I think the Ruger 5.56 is a fine budget option. Very accurate, like I said, more accurate than any of the PSA uppers that I have. And yeah, that's the simple AR-15 build.